So in this video, we'll be just looking at different ways to optimize the revenue, and not only to optimize the revenue but to optimize the profitability. We'll see some of the overlooked metrics which we need to consider and which are very important. Customer behavior and how to adjust and adapt our strategies around that, and how to efficiently manage and drive revenue for different spaces within the hotel. So one is like to start with. So revenue management, just beyond the pricing, we need to look at the holistic picture. So total revenue optimization, and not just the revenue optimization, but looking at optimizing the profitability strategically, right? Then also distribution strategy, to decide on which distribution partners you want to work with, which partners drive more business, revenue, a better piece of business, right? And driving the values, uh, and then focus on the partners which brings you the most revenue. And also to consider and looking at all the contracts and see those underperforming contracts, speak to them, try to understand if there are challenges, work around it to drive business through them. And if it still doesn't work, it maybe it's time to basically disconnect or discontinue the contracting. So, because it's better to focus on the partners which brings you business rather than in just managing a lot of contracts. Demand intelligence, also, so you need to understand when pricing yourself, or when you are trying to achieve your results, to understand also how the future might look like, how much growth, or decline in tourist arrivals to your specific destination is expected for the following months and years. You can get this data from some of the tools available, like Google Travel Insights. Lighthouse has a solution. Some GDSs provide this. STR has this. And to have more accurate information, I would suggest maybe reaching out to tourism, promotion boards, Ministry of Tourism. They would have some numbers about the tourist arrivals they are expecting for the particular year or months. Even airport authorities would know, and they can basically tell you based on the flights and the seats booked for coming months, and that gives you an idea of how the demand might look like. And then based on that, you decide, you adjust your pricing accordingly. So basically, overall revenue optimization, you connect basically demand insights to distribution strategy, right? Channel mix, depending on the cost of acquisition through different channels. That is also a very important thing to look at when selecting which distribution channel you want to use to get more bookings or attract guests booking your hotel. And also there are other metrics which we need to look at, not just the room rates but the other revenue metrics as well. Spending analysis. So you need to see how the spending patterns are from different guests, from which book different room types, different number of people, probably different nationalities, country of origins, right? And that gives you an idea. So you look at dining preferences to see how many guests are dining in, right? Going to the coffee shop, going to the bar, ordering drinks, food from there, or ordering room service, right? High value guests, see the guests who are spending higher than usual at your different outlets. That gives you an idea who to target for more kind of upselling, and who is your potential um, target client who would be willing to pay more. And then your upselling strategy should be around those data points to see who is looking for what, and what amount of money they'll be willing to pay for, right? And then you design the upselling strategy accordingly and reach out to those guests. And also, even in general, when you're deciding about the distribution channels and the countries, the target markets, you can look at the metrics from different nationalities, and see how much room revenue and how much non-accommodation revenue was generated from different nationalities. So that also gives you an idea of not just the rev par, but total revenue per room, right? Rev par basically. Customer centric revenue view, right? So you look at the segments, analyze segment by customer segment, like OTAs or tour operator. Someone who booked corporate clients tend to spend usually more. Source market, from where the nationality of the guest, or origin of the guest, to and that basically gives you a good information, which will be useful for you when you are strategizing for long term, for, let's say, target markets, etc. Identify high value and profitable customer cohorts. Strategic optimization is to tailor your commercial strategies to attract and retain top spenders, which means obviously more revenue. So that should be your priority. And also, your marketing efforts should be focused on high value guests. So you attract high spending guests willing to spend more, so you have opportunities to optimize your revenue. And also, sometimes when you keep your pricing low, or the guests are not very high spenders, we've seen the tendency that affects your reviews negatively. So I think better to keep that in mind as well. Now let's say revenue breakdown. Imagine we sold a room for 100 or 200 euros per night, right? So we need to break it down and to see how much we have actually made out of that room sale. Let's say in $200 case, let's say per night we generated 200. Labor and operations, let's say you spend quite a lot of money on your amenities, your housekeeping costs, other depreciation costs, and all those costs. That costs you, let's say, 60%. Then the property and tech costs, let's say, you pay for each booking, you pay pass through fee, etc. And other property related shared costs, 5 to 7%, for example. You look at the distribution and OTA commissions. This is usually around 18% for OTAs. Your TOs would be like 5 to 8%, depending on your contract. So let's say on average that's 12%, 15%. Franchise, if you're associated with a brand chain, you pay certain fee there as well, let's say 10%. Marketing and sales, 2 to 4%, the cost of acquisition probably. So when you combine them all, you might not be making a lot of money when you look at the net. So it's very important to look at all these cost centers associated with serving each guest, and see how you can optimize and reduce your costs, basically, right? And then we have spend per occupied room over time, right? Uh, you track the incremental spend, measure guest expenditures beyond room rates. So you look at the F&B spa experiences, how much they're spending over a period of time when they stay. Then you basically identify the trends, analyze increase or decrease in guest spending over time, and also then you look at you basically adjust your offers as well, refine packages and promotions that would help you boost incremental revenue. These are some of the metrics, like not metrics, basically some of the analysis you need to do to see the patterns and then adjust your strategies accordingly. Also, space efficiency, so revenue per square meter, that's another metric when you are looking at the overall revenue generation, right? You need to look at all the different spaces from which you can generate the revenue, and see, basically, so your revenue hotspots. So identify, apart from accommodation, which other spaces generate the most revenue per square meter. Your restaurants, your event spaces, your pool, even if you have some activities, I don't know, tennis courts. So see all the spaces from which you are generating revenue, and identify which are the spaces you are generating more revenue per square meter. Optimize the layout, maximize the seating, table turnovers in high value areas, or in terms of pool. Probably try to push for more sales around the pool, from the pool bar, and other spaces which you have, even in terms of events, to upsell, cross sell. Address also some inefficiencies. If you see that there are areas where you are not generating much revenue, or how much you should actually, then come up with some plan to reduce those performing spaces, and enhance the guest flow, push for more sales, so you generate more revenue from all the spaces available. Also, we usually, when on in daily revenue analysis, we look at the average daily rate, usually, which is all right. However, the ADR usually does not give us the full picture of the guest spending. Uh, and also, when you're looking at the average pricing, you're looking at the average of, let's say, if you have a tour operator booking at, I don't know, 80 euros, and you're selling on OTA is 120, and your corporate is 100, well, like, different rates. So when you are calculating the average, it doesn't really give you a very accurate information about who is paying how much. So it gives you an average, but it's also important to look at the median daily rate, to see the median of different price points, um, for a particular day, night, or some particular night, sorry, or month, or a quarter, right? So you understand your what is your median rate, right? And so, and then when you compare your average and median, you would have a better picture about your price, different price points at which the guests booked for your hotel, right? So the median rate, it actually does not replace the average daily rate. It complements it, right? So together you can have a more complete picture of your revenue performance. The next one is basically to focus on the relationships and not cost cutting, right? You build direct relationships, so you capture guest interest and encourage direct bookings. You try to redirect your savings, use commission savings to enhance the guest experiences, and you try to build the loyalty and create loyalty to generate positive reviews and repeat visits. um, you know so as uh, as it says in the slide, even the sometimes the economic pressure might suggest the automation as a solution, but you also have to equally focus and actually focus more on building that personal connection, and build loyalty, create that loyalty, because that's going to be very important, right? The overall experience in general for at your hotel by the guests. Then consumption behavior. So internal and external guests, in-house dining. Uh, just monitor the spend from hotel guests on food and beverage. External guests measure revenue generated by non-hotel guests in outlets. Reservation strategy to balance probably, let's say, table allocation between house and external diners. So just looking at how much the in-house guests and the non-hotel guests are spending in different outlets, and to basically understand the spending patterns. Breakfast capture rate. Look at the percentage, right, of how many of your guests staying at the hotel are having breakfast at the hotel. Um, Identify if there are any challenges, to see what are the reasons in case of low capture rate, whether it's a price, variety, convenience, food quality, service, whatever challenges there are, and then try to overcome those challenges, issues. Probably refine offerings, right? Improve breakfast options and pricing to increase spend and retention. And then, as a manager, commercial leader, build a very detailed. My suggestion basically is to have a very detailed dashboard, so you have an over like a holistic picture of all your commercial performance, and not just the ADR, rep, or occupancy, etc. Right? You look at all these data points so that you'll be able to connect the dots, have 360 degrees view, have this, and basically having a bird eye view, and you'll be in a position to have this holistic picture